Hello, Rick Miracle here again with another video, a continuation of Earth, Pleiadian Keys to the Living Library. This will be the last of that particular issue, number 60 of Freemasonry and Satanism. I had to ponder and think about this for a few days and try to see what I could do to make it clear what this stuff is about. Crop circles showing different planetoids, aliens, all kinds of symbols, UFO sightings everywhere, underground bases being built by the government, the New Age, the New World Order, satanic symbolism on football halftime shows, the Oscars and Grannies and Olympic openings with Lady Gaga doing satanic symbolism. There is certainly something strange going on in the world, and I started out investigating this 10 years ago, 2005, and this is 2015, because I just wanted to find out what the heck was going on in the world. How could people in Argentina, California, Florida, Canada, Germany be all losing their homes? All the economic strife. I even discovered Alan Greenspan said to Congress, which you can look up, that they were running a program called economic destruction, creative economic destruction. So why were they trying to cause a situation in the USA and the world? We know why they did it in the world. Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins, I think. Where he was sent around to get all these governments to borrow millions and billions to build power plants and whatever, promising them that they could make a lot of money, improve their gross national product, knowing full well it would not happen. They would default on the loans, and they would fall under the control of a foreclosure, bankruptcy, of the United Nations. Hence, under the New World Order control, under the United Nations control, which is controlled by the Zionists, banksters, Illuminati, which encompasses everything from the Jesuits, the Vatican, the Hollywood crowd, Kabbalah, Rosicrucian, Masonic lodges everywhere, and many more New Age groups and secret lodges and associations, Bilderberger Group, Bohemian Grove, Council of Foreign Relations. I could go on here for hours. So what's that got to do with Pleiadians? Billy Myers and the Pleiadian ship that he rode in, and the girl who came to see him, and the trip he took in the spaceship, the UFO. You can look that up. We've talked about it. Where these people were called the Pleiadians. And then Barbara Marcinak, and her other book that I read a while ago, Bringers of the Dawn. Here's a picture of Barbara. Communicating with Pleiadians in the Galactic Federation. What's it all about? So here you have this lady, Barbara. This book is kind of beat up. Talking to the Pleiadians using channeling. Going into trances. So let's continue to see what the Pleiadians have to say through Barbara. Page 108. And I think if you haven't gotten a clue after this video, because I have a surprise for the second half on this video, I don't know what to say. This is number 60. Some of my video series, 59 was 7 videos long, some are 4, some are 3, some are 2, and some are 1. So we can conclude I've got at least 100 videos, 100 hours, 150 hours, I don't know, of material, of books related to what's going on in the planet. And if you know anything about books, which I'm sure you do, when you read something that the author says is apparently true, where he referenced that they put a little tiny number there in the book, that's called the citation. And if you look in the back of the book, where that number is, you can tell where he referenced that material from. And that's how I acquired most of my books, is when an author claims something, and I saw the citation, I looked in the back of the book, I ordered the book online at like Abe used bookstores or a couple other used bookstore sites, got that book, read that book, and then it had citations, and I ordered that book, and they had citations. So it's like a detective. As I'm backing up and see where all these authors are getting the material from. And then I've been doing the book reviews for you to show you the trail in the books and showing you what's in the pages and reading from the pages to give more credibility to what I am saying. Because I don't want people to just trust me. I don't want people to trust anybody. I want people to do homework and come up with their own opinion. Then they'll know. Then we'll all know. Then maybe we'll save this planet from this New World Order and this New Age. So anyways, with that, all that said, let me get on with page 108. And if you remember where we left off on part 2 of this book, related to men having sex with women during the menstrual period, apparently it created some kind of spiritual magic and opened up portals into cosmic knowledge and stuff, if you can believe that. But it's going to get crazier. Androgyny represents, that's someone who has both sexes. Androgyny represents a divine aspect of the integrated male and female. So if you look at a picture of Satan, the devil, look up devil images on Yahoo, you will see he has a goat's head, women's breast, and a male lower end and goat's feet. So the devil is androgynous, male and female. So I'll read this again, and you can go and look up devil images, and you will see the half male, half female devil. What's with that? In Europe, the Eurovision, like we have American Idol contests, the singers, over there they have Eurovision. And in the Eurovision, Conchita Wurst won the contest, singing the song Phoenix Rising with the words, "You can't stop us." And Conchita Wurst, the head was the head of Jesus and the body of a woman in a silky dress. And Conchita is a female anatomy part, and Wurst is a sausage, a male representation of a male phallic. Conchita Wurst. So they're telling us all over the world the comings to our future. They're showing us our future. Will we listen? Will we pay attention? Will we be responsible if we're just apathetic? Act like zombies. So androgyny represents a divine aspect of the integrated male and female. Each of you have stored in you the vital force called Kundalini, which is an expression of the energy of creation. There's a lot more to the Kundalini. Go look it up. Page 109. We can't move. This is the Pleiadians talking. Because you can't move. You can't move because we prevented you from evolving by genetically rearranging you. That's a little suspicious there. They want us to trust them now, and they're saying here that we can't move because they genetically designed us so we couldn't move. We did that so you would not have the abilities that we have and use them to usurp us. I think that's why they're creating the New World Order, and they want to microchip everybody, to control everybody, and eliminate people who will not comply with the new Lucifer religion. Now, 500,000 years later, we are in a big crunch. we know we made one heck of a big mistake, if there are mistakes to be made. Shortly, you will discover your ability to create life and your ability to be gods. Well, apparently they've evolved cloning is so advanced, the scientific advancements in cloning, that if they reclone a dog, they don't have to train the puppy the new tricks the old dog knew. The cloned dog remembered the tricks. So I wonder what the scientists are really able to do now with cloning. We know they're doing genetic manipulation. There's been some horrific creatures found off of Long Island. There was an island off of Long Island, a small one, that was a government laboratory where they were doing some strange things. And if you go look it up, some very bizarre creatures washed up on the shore of Long Island. And other places and other weird things, half human, half pig. They're doing some strange things. So right here they said, for 40 years your scientists have been pretending they are gods, as they have created life in underground laboratories as a reenactment of the Atlantean drama lesson. And I've read a lot of Atlantean books. I have a lot of Atlantean books, which we will take a look at. And yes, indeed, when the island sank and they went to Egypt, there was a war and mayhem because the Egyptians were horrified at the creatures the Atlanteans were making as worker slaves, fighting slaves, and sex slaves. Grotesque. We all know mythology, half man, half horse, half human body, serpent bottom, all kinds of crazy things in mythology. Was it based on a reality? And there are books coming out now that's saying, by authors who are becoming famous, saying that it was. Okay, then we will watch you, and we will see if, as you create life, you limit it. Will you be afraid that the life you create will be greater than you? I was watching Bill Gates and some other scientists talking on a video about AI, artificial intelligence. And they said that when they build one of these humanoids with artificial intelligence, or even a computerized system, as soon as you turn it on, it will surpass the human ability thousands of times. It will have evolved right past us. And they were talking about how dangerous that could be if they do that. We've all seen the TV shows and the movies. What do these spirits that have been contacted by mediums like Barbara, on medium spirits calling themselves Pleiadians, what do they have in store for us? Remember Albert Pike, this series is called Freemasonry and Satanism, who wrote Morals and Dogma, the Bible for the Freemasons. Albert Pike supposedly got all that by a spirit guide, a master. Helena Blavatsky, Alice Bailey, communicated with masters, spiritual guides, wrote big, thick books. We're going to go over that. So anyways, will you want to forbid the life that you create or interact with the tree of knowledge or the tree of life? So if you do take AI, artificial intelligence, create a computerized system or a robot, do you want to give it self-awareness with the capacity to think 100 times, 1,000 times past what and how man can do? Or will you encourage the lives you create, which are your children, the future race of blue children? That's crazy. Why are these beings that apparently our laboratory is going to create, why are they calling them a future race of blue children? We did not realize in creating you that you had anything to teach us. You were slaves, you were diggers for gold. That's right out of Zachariah Stitchin's material. Alright, now it's going to get a little bizarre. If you didn't think it was bizarre enough already. Page 110, energy exercise. At each one of these chapters, they have something called an energy exercise. In case you want to pause it and go read it after I read it, because you're not going to believe it. You ready? Starts out with take a few deep breaths, consciously following your breath in and out of your body. So take a few deep breaths, consciously following the breath coming in and out of your body. You get it? Okay. Now, picture an opening to a dark and mysterious cave at the base of your spine. I couldn't believe that when I read it. Now picture an opening to a dark and mysterious cave at the base of your spine. So I'm thinking at the base of my tailbone, a dark and mysterious cave. And of course, anyways, there is a dark and mysterious cave in your tailbone. When you go to the bathroom, you use it. With courage, step forward and feel yourself walking deeper and deeper into the cave. You can't make this stuff up. Knowing as you proceed that it is the home of a grand... I can't believe it. I apologize. That is the home of a grand serpent. You tingle as you are pulled into your cave of power. Makes you wonder about the New Age, gay agenda. The dark and mysterious cave with a grand serpent in it. You know, in every courtyard all over the world, you know, in the cities like the Vatican and Rome and D.C., even here where I live in town in Asheville, North Carolina, we have a big obelisk in our city square, which is a phallic unit, the missing phallic unit of Isis, when his brother cut his body into 16 or 17 pieces. They found his wife Isis found all the pieces save one, the phallic unit. So they worship that or honor that with obelisk everywhere all over the earth. So anyways, we're getting back to the dark cave at the base of your spine. Visualize a huge serpent giving off a steady hiss. Its eyes glowing with green embers in the dark. Better go see a doctor if you got something with a steady hiss and eyes in your dark cave at the tail of your spine. Although I'm supposed to be doing a book review and being serious, I'll continue reading. Picture the jaws of the serpent opening. You walk as a glowing figure of light into the mouth of the reptile. So here you are getting in a trance, and you're supposed to walk as a glowing figure of light into the mouth of the reptile. Now go into the belly of this serpent. The book is telling you to go into the belly of a serpent. This serpent is the mother goddess. Whoa! All of that at the dark cave at the tail of your spine, you're going to find the mother goddess. This serpent is your kundalini, your passion. The force through which you can feel connected and can create. Claim your inheritance and feel uplifted. So anyways, we have discussed this, and you probably know this, a lot of people do. But we have 7 shakas, vortexes, energy portals in your body, supposedly, according to the books I've read. One at the tail of your spine is chakra number 1, which is red. Sorry about that. Had a business call. So anyway, chakra number 1, tail at the base of your spine, is red. The second chakra is your genital area, which is orange, chakra number 2. Your stomach is yellow, chakra number 3. 4 is your heart, green. 5 is your throat, chakra number 6. 4, 5. So it's number 5 is your throat, blue. The pineal gland, your third eye, is number 6, purple, indigo. And number 7 is white or gold on your head. And then there's number 8 above your head somewhere. Number 9 is above the atmosphere of Earth. 10, outside the atmosphere of Earth of the solar system. 11, the galaxy. And 12, the center of the universe or something. And if you activate your kundalini, the energy from chakra number 1 there, the tailbone of your spine, it's supposed to be an upflow of energy to communicate the opening to the communicating with the spirits, spiritual world, or spirits around you, I guess. Learning a little bit as I go. So moving on a little more with this book, now that we discussed that bizarre topic of a dark cave at your tailbone. All right, number 117, page 117. Those who would keep you from knowledge have had their boundaries penetrated, and the frequency control fence around the planet is like Swiss cheese. So they say, you've probably heard the term prison planet. They say around Earth we have some kind of frequency control fence. But it's also like Swiss cheese. In other words, there are holes and other forms of light that can now come through. So one of the things about the pineal gland, when you do use this energy to communicate with the spiritual realm, it's part of the occult system, the Kabbalah, the magic, witchcraft, Zionism practices, Freemasons, Illuminati, Rosicrucians, all that stuff, Hollywood, the occult, psychics, research, meditation. It's an interesting subject, and I think it would bode us well to investigate it, to see why and what they're doing to us humans with the TV programming, the satanic rituals during like the football halftime shows, the subliminal suggestions they give us, the HARP systems, the sky spraying, the fluoride in the water that calcifies the pineal gland up here so that you can't have spiritual communication. Did you know that? In my videos we've discussed it over and over. Rockefeller during the early 1910s and 20s went out of his way to get the fluoride put in, or during the early part of the 1900s, fluoride put in the water systems everywhere. Why? Because what it did, it suppressed the spiritual evolvement, we humans, from evolving or communicating on a higher consciousness level, maybe. They want to control what we know, and they're worried that we might learn too much. And I think that's going to have something to do with the 666 mark of the beast. Remember, this is Freemasonry and Satanism. And the snake symbol is everywhere. Snake is in the Garden of Eden. The third eye, the all-seeing eye, is in the dollar bill of the USA. All the presidents, most of the people in high places are Masons of one kind or another, who have this secret knowledge they study, sacred schools. Look up William Cooper. See some of his videos. Very enlightening. Page 125, the Edoceran system can secrete for psychedelic-like chemical substances. So your endorsement system, I was probably saying it wrong, Endoseric system, E-N-D-O-C-R-I-N-E, system can secrete psychedelic-like chemical substances that catapult you into new forms of intelligence. You have a conflict in your society about how you view drugs, and many of us are aware of the ayahuasca vine down there in Peru, or the peyote with the American Indian tribes, or the opium over there in the Middle East, and all these drugs that these shamans take to go into induced states to communicate with the spiritual realm. This is thousands of years old. This is old news. But we also know that the Vatican, wherever it went out of its way to destroy that knowledge when it went into the Mayan or the native Mexicans, I think where Mexico City is now, when the Spanish conquistadors went in there with the cross flag backed up by the Catholic Church, the Pope, the first thing they did is they went to the shaman's tent, got the knowledge, slew him, and then proceeded to start killing all the people, the natives, and take the gold. The Library of Alexandria. All this old-time spiritual pagan religion, spiritual communication, the Vatican went out of its way to burn all that and destroy all that, while they maintain the knowledge, and the rest of us don't have the knowledge. And these are the secret mystery schools that are part of the Freemasonic societies, the Illuminati, the Rosicrucians, the Zionism, the Jesuits, the Vatican, the Hollywood, the occultic, the Kabbalists. Secret mystery schools to teach the adepts the knowledge, and then they become illuminated. Get it? Got it? At the same time, a good portion of the world is addicted to prescription drugs that keep people sedated. You think that's an accident? No. All right. Page 128. You will never be the same once your hypothalamus secretions start. So if you go into these stimulating your cranial sacral adjustment of the hypothalamus with these meditations and these rituals, you will never be the same once your hypothalamus secretions start. This book, page 128. Have you ever ingested a psychedelic? How would you like to live balancing that reality 24 hours a day? It wouldn't work. It would be entirely too confusing. It is fine for what is called a trip. It is fine for journeying into learning, into the shamanic mysteries, living library realms. Get it? Shamas, mystery schools, living library realms. And apparently, according to some of the stuff I have studied, the Vietnam War was about introducing the American young men, and some women, to all these psychedelic drugs, LSD and all that stuff, when they went overseas, and then when they came back home, they were buying it and selling it. And a lot of people during the hippie age were seriously into these drugs, which apparently today a lot of people are seriously into the drug world now, causing probably huge problems for them and the rest of us. Your hypothalamus is going to move you into a new shoreline of your being, a new domain that will be chemically induced. This is what is called the Endoserian system does. This is what the endocian, I can't say the word, system does. E-N-D-O-C-R-I-N-E. It introduces various chemicals into your body without you taking anything, without you ingesting any substances at all. The chemicals will simply begin to secrete themselves and influence the very way you perceive and interpret reality. Now remember, there's sky-spraying chemicals in our skies. They're turning on HARP systems, cell phone radios, and microchipping even people these days. And those microchips maybe can be tuned to certain frequencies, which can cause different hormonal or other chemicals in your body to be secreted to control you, to harm you. Your restored hypothalamus will take you on a journey, and you will change everything so that you will be happy to dwell there. So they're going to change everything so that you're happy to dwell there. Sounds like a zombie. Sounds like a Star Trek episode. You will not want to dwell in the old place. Of course not. You're going to have your drugs. You're going to be happy. The TV, the cell phone. The government's going to mind control you. You'll be happy though. I won't be happy. Alright, it will be as if you move to a new land. So when they do the revolution in the USA, and then they do the purge, which means they go out there and eliminate people that they've already predicted with computers who will resist and not cooperate with the new world order, communist type control system where everybody gets microchipped. It will be as if you move to a new land and as if you move to a new planet without leaving Earth. And like I said, there will be people that will resist, will have the red dot maybe on your mailbox. Those people will be killed. The yellow dot will go to internment camps for retraining, re-indoctrination into society. And the green dots will be the zombies on the drugs who will embrace the new world order system and happily get their microchip. Just adding a little bit here. It will be a splitting of your world. See what I'm saying? The world will be splitting. Some people will go along and some people will resist. Then they'll have the purge to get rid of all the red dot people. Earth and Earth's reality in the living library will change before your eyes because the chemicals that will be secreted from the hypothalamus will give you a new interpretation of reality. Did you just hear what I just said? Because the chemicals that will be secreted from the hypothalamus will give you a new interpretation of reality. This you are not prepared for yet, nor anywhere near it. First you must convince yourself that you are loved, and that you are the source of your love. So you're loved, and you love yourself. That's why you're loved. Fear is the killer. We remind you that your power ends where fear begins. Almost over here. Let's see. The purpose of fear is to save your life, to catapult you into the now in order to take action. Often it serves to direct you away from that which is dangerous and toward the very essence of your vital being. Alright, moving on. Page 130. Your thoughts create your reality. Part of the initiation. Get it? Freemasonry and Satanism, Illuminati, Rosicrucians, Zionism. Everybody gets initiated. Yes? Part of the initiation of consciousness is to move through toxicity, and your physical body needs to go through more preparation and purification of what would be called intent and courage. When you dwell in fear, you dispel all. You dispel your own power. So in order to meet something that is very unfamiliar to your logical mind, you must maintain clarity of intent and a tremendous sense of courage, safety, and nonchalance. So I guess if you're going to allow a spiritual entity, demonic, maybe a demon, into your body, they want you to surrender your fear and allow it to enter your body. I guess they would. Everything that keeps you from achieving something is simply an idea. Over the next 20 years, the period everyone is buying a big ticket for, front row seats here in Earth's amphitheater, many changes will take place. They're talking about the New World Order, New Age. What else would they be talking about? The Pleiadians through Barbara, channeling. Earth is going to seem like a huge carnival. You are all going to get on some big rides that you cannot conceive of, so you have some clearing and intending to do. From our viewpoint, it completely boggles us that you would invest in fear around that which is opportunity. So this New Age, New World Order, they're saying is opportunity. And you're going to feel really happy in this new world because your thymus gland is going to excrete some stimulating chemicals in your body. Gotta get my words out. The forces that work with you have the capacity to influence and affect your reality that is beyond your comprehension, even though you are not aware of the existence of these forces. Understand that there is a deep seeding of cancerous ideas and thoughts on the planet, just as there is a deep seeding and encouragement of the idea of AIDS. That would be the disease AIDS. Fear is the killer. It is an idea that takes hold like Paul Revere crying out and riding through the streets in early America. So I guess they don't want the bell to be rung that the demonic spirits are coming. I don't make this stuff up. I just read from the books. And I use my God-given brain, critical thinking. However, now there is AIDS, and when there is no HIV present, AIDS is now being spread electromagnetically in the same way that many disturbances can be spread electromagnetically. That's been a concern of mine. I mean, everything is frequency. With these HARP towers, cell phone towers, satellites in space, all the black op projects with mind control and all these things they're doing, can they custom design diseases to occur in people in a geographical area by tuning in a certain frequency? I mean, if you know how voodoo works, and I'll explain the brief version for you. The way voodoo works is you have to take some hair, skin, clothing of the person you want to affect, and you make it into a little doll, and the doll is just to be an image. But the fact that that doll, 100 miles away, 1,000 miles away, has some of your hair, fingernail clippings, teeth, whatever. Each of us has a separate vibration. Just like two tuning forks, if I thunk one here, this one over here will start shaking and go too, right? And a guitar, you hit the right string, the low key, and if they're perfectly tuned, this one over here, the low key will start vibrating without you hitting it. That's called a resonant frequency. Well, humans have resonant frequencies in our DNA on a much higher infinite level. So if somebody took some of my hair particles 100 miles away, there would be this resonant vibration between my hair here and my hair there. And there's been a lot of experiments, and we've gone over this in my previous videos, like the Russians taking a baby rabbit from the mother down into a submarine, killing the baby rabbit, while the mother's hooked up to a lie detector machine, And it registered all the vibrations of her nervous system going crazy as they were killing the baby rabbit under the ocean. So that's how voodoo works, is they take some of your hair and they have that stream of energy, just like a radio channel. You receive a radio at your home and a transmitter down at the transmitter station. And the voodoo doctor takes a thought form, takes a pin, sticks it into the doll, and the thought form actually goes on that carrier wave to you, where you feel the pin hitting your chest. Theoretically, it's a science they know how to use. There's more to these secret mystery schools. Freemasonry, Satanism, Rosicrucians, Zionism, Kabbalah, what the Jewish people study. What they know and you don't know can harm you. So it says here, so in order to meet something that is very unfamiliar to your logical mind, you must maintain clarity of intent and tremendous sense of courage. And over the next 20 years, the period that everyone is buying tickets for, I read that, Earth is going to seem like a huge carnival. You are all going to go on some very big rides that you cannot conceive of. From our viewpoint, it completely boggles us that you would invest in fear around which is opportunity. The forces that work with you have a capacity to influence and affect your reality that is beyond your comprehension, just like the voodoo I just explained, even though you are not aware of the existence of these forces. And remember, we went over the books with the government training remote viewers, and we went over some books where they were the detectives and forest rangers used psychics to find criminals and lost people. We went over a dowsing book. I showed you some pictures where even the army was using dowsers to find underground caves in Vietnam where the enemy was hiding weapons and hiding themselves. There's more to this psychic spiritual realm than people know. Understand that there is a deep seeding of cancerous ideas and thoughts on the planet. We studied all that. Remember that electromagnetism involves the great currents of electricity that are all around you. See what I'm saying? Generated by humanity and other sources. Magnetism, of course, is the force that holds things together, like the little atoms in your body. If I took a microscope and zoomed up to my skin and kept on zooming up, I would see molecules and atoms. We all know that. We learned that in grade school. You have magnetic particles inside your brain as well. And like I always say, is we are biological beings with a spirit inside. And if you were to take the spirit out of me, if my spirit were to leave my body, then I would probably plop over and die. I would be spiritualist. And when they clone people, apparently, with these occultic Freemasonry, Kabbalah, witchcraft, Zionism, Rosicrucian, all these different occult, sacred, secret mystery schools, they can create a clone, I guess, and if you're dying, let's say you're one of the ex-presidents that's still living that's about to die, and if he died, I'm not naming anyone here, and they have this technology, they could have a clone of infant of that president standing by, maybe in a tube or something with water, and then as soon as he dies and the spirit leaves the body, they could activate that clone, and the spirit would detect that frequency that it's in tune with, the cloned person. And the dead president could enter a younger body and just keep on doing that forever. Apparently that type of science is out there right now. And there are those in the occultic, Kabbalah, Freemasonic, Illuminati, Zionists, Jesuit, Vatican, I keep going on here with all these secret mystery school peoples. They know this, and part of this forever reality for them is the overpopulated earth, you and me, which they don't want to share their secrets that they have discovered. Maybe this is why they mummified the ancient pharaohs in the past in Egypt, so they could in the future take the DNA and make a clone and draw that spiritual entity back into earth, into that body. I don't know. Theorizing. Is theorizing legal? Is it ethical? Is it the right thing to do, to use your brain? And I got a lot of supporting data for all that stuff. Okay, AIDS is spread electromagnetically, drawing itself from one carrier to another with a similar pattern of vibration. So can I custom design an AIDS program in your DNA with radiated signals from your cell phone or a tower or something? Or stuff they spray in the sky, little medical particles that get in your body that would tune into these frequencies? So moving on, and I got something to do after this book on this video that's kind of interesting. I'll just finish this on page 138. We cannot emphasize to you enough that you must stop listening to society and to the official versions of reality. So the Pleiadians don't want you to listen to society, people like me, and to official versions of reality. Geez, I wonder why. Pleiadians are channeling through Barbara, telling you about a dark tunnel at the base of your spine that there's a serpent waiting for you. This is going to be the hardest task for you and the biggest break to make. To cross the bridge between your societal self and your spiritual self. Which one is going to become sacred? Which one is going to be your source of authority? The sooner you make this leap, the more you will enjoy yourself. So it looks like these Pleiadians are saying if you disregard society and the official versions of reality, you're going to enjoy yourself more. Imagine a pillar of light touching the top of your head and then entering your body. And we have another energy exercise here. And I'll just finish this. Now, as if your consciousness were a magnet, drawing itself all like consciousness, feel yourself rising out of your own blueprint like a golden ball of light. Let your blueprint begin to rotate around the grid of Earth, looking for other blueprints that are keyed to work with yours, whose ultimate plan is to activate a new global blueprint for humankind. So they want to create a new human being. Probably something more conducive and satisfying to the spiritual entities who are jealous that we as humans even exist and live. They know that the coming change is an opportunity to live more joyous and expanded lives in which they have the freedom to look at life from a very different point of view. Keep that pillar of light always coming into your physical body. The pillar of light is your calling card into the higher realms. Remember, Lucifer is the light bearer. His name, Lucifer, means illuminated light being. So now I've got to move on to a different thing. I looked up another medium, Christina. So bear with me with this Christine Day second part of this video and how I do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-explain what I'm going to show you very briefly. So Christine Day is going to be showing with her videos people how to open portals so that they can communicate with the spiritual realm, Pleiadians, and other entities out there in the cosmic universe. So watch this first video that I recorded of one of her videos and listen closely to what she says. And remember, there's a lot of people picking up on this stuff, buying into this stuff. It's part of the New Age, and it's part of spiritual communication, also known as, I guess, the aliens, UFOs, Anunnaki, Pleiadians, many different entities, even Mother Mary, and Masters, and the Galactic Federation. So watch this, and then we'll go to the next one.
To open to these new alliances, and it's, I know you talked a long time ago about the Pleiadians being our neighbors, and it feels like we've come in and we're meeting this time because we're ready and our hearts are ready, and it's that love connection.
It is. It's a predestined time, this energy that's coming onto the planet in the first week of January. It's really designed to really recalibrate our whole systems energetically and open our hearts like a flower to the sun. That analogy is still there. It's very, very strong. And that allows us to energetically transform enough to be able to really forge these incredible alliances with the spiritual realms, with the galactic energies, the Pleiadians, the Lemurians. We have pre-agreements that are going to be active in the first week of January. And they're alliances that we need to have in our lives to fulfill our destinies, fulfill our missions, to take our places more completely in soul groups. So it's really a happening, and a blessed happening at that. So it just feels beautiful to be bringing those energies in today. I'm feeling kind of touched and emotional about it, because I can feel the quickening of the energy moving through me, and we are going to have a very powerful time today.
Okay, in this part, Christine Day talks about this process of communicating with these spiritual entities and opening portals as an illumined process, like the Illuminati. She comes right out and says it. Listen.
To take another step in working with tools that will be very supportive for you in this illumination process. I'm just going to call it the illumination process.
All right, this next part, she talks about the Pleiadians pouring information through her, and so she's sending that information to all of us. Listen here. What do you think?
Live streaming webinars that they excite me. The energies are wonderful that the Pleiadians are bringing through. They just keep pouring this new material through me, and I have to have somewhere to put it, so it'll all be going out to all of you out there, and that also brings me a lot of joy. I guess I'm...
All right, in this next part, Christine Day talks about getting the information and energy from the higher realms, which enables her to have the power to open portals and help remove bad karma from the earth and everybody, so everybody is much freer and much more joyous.
Which is you bringing this new work that's come in since that June awakening you had.
Yes, it's really a new cutting-edge energy, and because of the karma that's lifted off the planet, and I'm operating from a much higher authority energetically from the higher realms, it enables me to really come in and really actually just release and relieve old burdens from past lives, anything, old belief systems, things that are just holding you back and stopping you from really moving forward, and stopping the self-sabotage. There's a lot of self-sabotage happening within the human psyche, and it just clears your energetic field and clears your whole body of all of that clutter and all the burdens and the guilt and the shame, all the pain and the struggle and the, as I said, the belief in lack. So it opens up and liberates you for abundance on all levels in your life. And there's maybe one thing.
In this next part, Christine Day tells you that when you do go into the meditative states or ritual and open up the portal, You can communicate with the Pleiadians or the Galactic Federation or the Lemurians or other spiritual entities. Listen to what she has to say.
In Grand Moraine, it was so much more than we thought it would be, and we kept anticipating opening the second one. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, just for people who maybe aren't aware of the Galactic series?
Well, the communication portal on the land it's a high frequency communication space. And we thought it was for you to be able to communicate with the galactic community, and indeed it is. But it's also an incredible accelerated awakener. It aligns you quickly to that pure source energy of yourself. And so you go through an incredible recalibration and awakening process every time you go into the communication portal. You work with the Lemurians and the Pleiadians and the galactic community. It expands your telepathic ability so you can start communicating or going through a communion experience, telepathic communion experience with the universal community. And then the second portal will be open soon, and when I say soon, probably May, and it will then be more of a receiving station. It's going to expand its whole process then, and that's galactic too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this next little clip, you can see that Christine Day explains that the Pleiadians are in charge of the time frame of different materials that she puts out, the dates, and the amount of knowledge and what knowledge. So clearly the Pleiadians are in charge, telling her what to do, so she says. Listen up.
Second half of April, but be aware it could still be involving, and we have to trust what the Pleiadians say is a go date. And so right now it begins in the middle of April, but as with the Galactic Series ones, there were a lot of changes.
It was put off for 4 months, I think, because
I know.
they said, the Pleiadians said that we weren't quite ready, and they won't let us go ahead, which I love.
Yeah.
And so at the moment it's mid-April, and it may still stay that, but just be aware it could shift a little depending on how the Pleiadians feel we are ready for the next step.
Exactly.
And in this part, Christine Day explains doing the triangle sign that you see all the movie stars doing, but she calls it something else, and that how it's going to be opening up a portal so that people can communicate with spirits and Pleiadians and Lemurians and masters and all kinds of Galactic Federation beings out there in the cosmos. Listen to this.
For this new energy coming.
Yes, and today you're going to be working with your stable hand position again, because understand your stable hand position, the word stable hand position. It helps you remain anchored through your body and allows you to dimensionally move and remain stable as you move through those very expanded spaces. That's very important. So be aware that you're going to be moving outwards energetically through your own dimensional settings, but with the stable hand position, that's the thumb, index finger, middle finger, and we're going to be aligning with that first. So it is almost like a home base for you. We're going to be entering into the heart space, but I'm going to be opening up and transmitting an imprint energy that is going to take you into a deep space within your heart. It's almost like a multi-dimensional energetic of the home space, the entry point where you will, like we talked about, the heart is going to open. When those energies come in January, the heart is going to open like a flower to the sun. That imprint that's going to be placed, anchored, and birthed within you today is going to be the central part of the flower. And around it is the rest of your heart's energy. So the imprint allows you to energetically just let go and allow the full opening, the full brilliance of the energy, of your own heart's energy to unfold. So that's what we're going to be working with today. Through the imprint, we'll be using a new sound, and then I'm going to be creating, it's almost like a birthing frequency. I'm going to be transmitting sounds for continuous 5 minutes where you are going to flow into the imprint energy and continually birth and expand and birth and expand. And that imprint is almost like going to be melded, forged through the heart space for the January event, which is only weeks away. So that is going to be our transmission today. And I know we're going to have an amazing time. So I just want to say to you, you know, I'm with you energetically. Let's call in all the light beings. There's a lot of angels and light beings and masters around to support you energetically as you transform through this very powerful transmission process today. We have the Pleiadians, of course. The Lemurians are here to support your crystalline structure that's going to go through strong adjustments through this process. We have the energies of Mother Mary and many other light beings coming in to support. We have the support of the Galactic Council, which always oversees the new processes that are going to really create an incredible energetic difference on the earth plane. They're always here to oversee us.
In this next clip, what you see the movie stars on TV doing, the triangle, she calls the stable hand position. And she's going to explain to you by doing some meditative thing with your pineal gland how you can meditate and open up a portal to communicate with the higher realm. Check this out.
Dimensional space or opening within your stable hand position. And let go. Ashata-i. That's great. Now maintain your stable hand position. You're going to bring your awareness to 1 inch above the third eye, which is your pineal gland. I'm going to be making an adjustment within your pineal gland in readiness for your next step here. Now you can bring your stable hand position up and touch that area 1 inch above the third eye if you want to, or you can just maintain your stable hand position and bring your awareness to that place. So just now, bring all your awareness into that stable hand position. Excuse me. You're going to bring all your awareness to 1 inch above the third eye, which is your pineal gland. And again, you can bring your stable hand position up to touch it if you want to. Now bring your awareness there and take a breath and let go. And I'm going to just open a space here to give you a deeper access, another dimensional opening through the pineal gland. That's it. It's going to release something that has been restricting you for lifetimes that you are now ready to access.
This next clip, the second lady, right at the beginning of the clip, you might want to replay this a couple times because I can't believe what she said. This ability to open portals and communicate with higher realms, she said it's a special, discreet weapon. That's a little concerning, witchcrafty. And then she actually goes into the routine using the sounds and stuff to try to open up the portal. But I zoomed in on the second woman on this, the beginning of this clip, and I couldn't believe I caught her what she said. That this tool can be a discreet weapon. A weapon for what? Using witchcraft against people you don't like? Maybe you want to destroy? Listen, watch for yourself.
So it's a tool. A very good tool. But guess what? It's only a tool if you use it.
Exactly.
And it's amazing how quickly we can forget that you actually have that tool. So,
And I think it's one of our simpler and very discreet weapons to use. So I think we're ready to move that into the process.
let's go into the process. It's going on right now. Okay, so let's come into our stable hand position. Just bring your awareness into that energy. It's like, remember, wrapping your mind, your consciousness or awareness around your hands. And as you bring your awareness in and take a breath and let go, you moved into another dimensional setting, that alignment to that energy. That's really important. So you're going to bring your awareness in, take a breath and let go. Just be. And just let yourself align into that space, into that connection. And I'm just going to bring some sounds in just for you to align deeper into that space. That's it. Bring your awareness in. Take a breath. Ashata inea. Ashe onda isha. That's it. Take a breath. Let go. That's it. Now bring your awareness just a little deeper into that alignment to feel or sense or see the energy. And just take a breath and let go. Ashata inea. That's it. Bring your awareness deeper. Breathe. And then just let go. Ashata e. That's great. That's great. Now bring your stable hand position and rest it over and bring it to rest on the heart space. That's it. Feel that warmth, the pressure of the hands in that stable position. Bring your awareness into the heart space. That's it. Now take a breath and just let go. Ashata-i. That's it. Just gently moving yourself into the space of the heart. That's it. Now I'm just going to open the energy in the heart space a little more, almost like a clockwise rotation in that heart space. Just bring your awareness there, breathe. It's almost like dialing and opening an energy. As you bring your awareness there, take a breath and simply let go. That's it. Now I want you to bring in that sound, A-E, the same sound you used in that last broadcast. Just one sound which will reopen and re-expose that space. I'm going to make the sound once first, and then you're going to make the sound. Now you make that sound right in, bring your unique frequency in. It's going to almost take you back into that doorway flow of the space that has already been opened. Let's do it now together. That's it. Bring your awareness there. Take a breath. That's it. Right into that space. And just now, let go. Ashata-i. That's it. That's good. Now bring your awareness once more in and take another breath and feel the opening. I'm just going to transmit some sounds right into the space so it opens it up as completely as it can. Almost like a flower to the sun. But I'm just going to let it almost open just a fraction more to the sound. It's got another level of opening. Just bring your awareness there. Let the sound expand it on another level.
Christine Days, the medium who contacts the Pleiadians, uses this device to open portals. And the way you activate this device is you say sounds like So meditation and sounds like that apparently make this device turn, and this is Christine Day here. Check out her videos on YouTube and see how Christine Day channels information from the Pleiadians to the people who follow her. Rick Marico reporting. Well, I think I've done a thorough job of giving people the gist. Anybody who wants to watch my videos. I've learned even more than I thought I knew by this process. But there's a couple books by Barbara Marcinak. And a lot of people don't know what the New Age is all about. And this series, of course, is Freemasonry and Satanism. Who is Satan? Lucifer, the light bearer. A spiritual being? An angel that was kicked out of heaven? Why was he kicked out of heaven? Does the spiritual realm really exist? Is this part of the secret mystery schools of the Freemasons, Illuminati, Zionism? King Solomon, in the ancient Jewish First Temple, King Solomon had a magic ring. He could bring forth demons into this reality. Hence, that's where he got his power. So the story is told in the Bible. So there's a lot more going on behind the scenes of the world powers who are into the occult, the secret mystery schools. All the presidents have been Masons. George Washington, Washington, D.C. is designed like a big owl. Sorry about that. All kinds of occultic symbols everywhere. Obelisk in all our cities, squares. Crazy satanic rituals on the football halftime shows, you've heard me say. Sky spring, harp systems, frequencies. The New Age, the New World Order. So I thought I'd just look at some books that I've already gone over, and we may go over again. But Psychic Archaeology by Jeffrey Goodman. Basically, a lot of archaeologists found out that if they got a psychic who could do dowsing with the pendulum, like you've seen me do, and the archaeologist would take a map of the area and think of something he was looking for, and the pendulum would gyrate when it went over any spot on the map that the object that he was thinking about, where it was, and then he would give that map to the archaeologist. They would dig there, find the object, hence saving a lot of time on, digging in the ground looking for bones or ancient monuments. Edgar Cayce, many people know, 17,000 readings. This guy did, telling people to find cures, and then later on he told them about present and past lives. Communicating with the spiritual realm. Did Edgar Cayce do it? I believe he did. Who was he really communicating with, and were the facts true? He was communicating in a trance to the higher realm. Letters on Occult Meditation. Alice Bailey. We've gone over this. You see all my tabs. You can see my previous videos. But I'll read one thing from Alice Bailey's book, page 180. As may be imagined, the calling of either the divas or the elementals can only be safely undertaken by one who has the power to utilize them wisely when called. Hence the mantrams, that's those sounds and things people do when they meditate or go into contact the occult, we have enumerated above are only put into the hands of those who are on the side of the constructive forces of the system. So if you're going to contact a diva or an elemental, beings on the other side, according to Alice Bailey, you better know what you're doing. It could be a very dangerous undertaking. And, this book was published by Lucas Truss, which the publishing company in New York was initially Lucifer Trust, but they changed the name, I suspect for obvious reasons. dedicated to the Tibetan teacher Alice Bailey. Letters on Occult Meditation. And then, of course, one of my favorite things that I studied on initially, using the pendulum, looking for water. And I didn't really start out wanting to get into this stuff. I wanted to read books by old scientists like Nikola Tesla and others as a person who had an electronics education degree and worked at the major aerospace company 10 years, me. And so to see what these scientists, where they got their information, and I found out they all got it through occult means. When they were children, their fathers were ministers, most of them, and they were psychic and they were seeing visions. And even Nikola Tesla on stage said that he wasn't a genius. He was given the information from the other side. So it just opened my eyes to a world I was completely unaware of. And I learned how to use a pendulum to do all kinds of cool things that may be or may not be true. And but solar ray experiments. You can use a pendulum and hold it over a stone. And it'll, different charts in this book. This guy was a priest with the church, Abbey Mermont. And this is a good book to study about how to use the pendulum. And then, of course, we went over this book, Mysterious Detectives and Psychics. And so many detectives and police officers were apprehended using psychics, criminals. This is real stuff. Helena Blavatsky was actually behind some of the secrets taken in by the Rosicrucians and the Illuminati. She was a Russian woman who was very much into the occult and went to Tibet and India and spent many years there and wrote some fantastic books which we are going to go over. Masonic and Occult Symbols Illustrated. So they have all these symbols they use. This is just a marker I have in Helena Blavatsky's book, The Occult World. I read this a long time ago. I should probably read it again. I'll probably get a whole different picture from the knowledge I've gained. Psychic Warriors, we've gone over this. David Morehouse, when he left the government, CIA Stargate program, he told all about going into trances, looking into the spiritual realm, spying on the Russians while he was out of his body and stuff like that. Psychic Self-Defense by Dion Fortune. We went over this. Psychic Self-Defense. Dion warns you, if you don't fool with this. You go into the spiritual realm, you're likely to get eaten up by demons. The Psychic Element and Mental Disturbances. Just a page in her book. So I'm just saying, when you talk about the Pleiadians and the other aliens and the UFO sightings, is it spiritual beings? My whole point to this whole drawn-out Pleiadian issue, what's it got to do with the occult and the Illuminati and the Freemasons and the secret mystery schools that William Cooper talks about, Bill Cooper on his series, the secret mystery schools, sacred mystery schools. Go look up at William Cooper's videos. Psychic Discoveries Behind the Iron Curtain. Fantastic book we've gone over. Started in Russia, the Americans found out, and then they wanted to get in on it. And then, of course, the human aura, that we're all spiritual beings and frequencies and different shapes and stuff of our body that you really can't see unless you have special psychic maybe. Or they had that one scientist we went over, this guy Walter Kilner. In this book, this scientist, he discovered if you took coal, like when you burn coal in a coal furnace, and you took the dust and water and mixed it up into some kind of dye, coal dye, Dionysian I think it is, and you put it between two sheets of glass, like a window, poured it in there, sealed it up so it couldn't leak, and you looked through it, you could see somebody's aura. And he was a doctor, and he was able to help cure a lot of people by detecting disturbances in the aura, in the colors. The aura, the outer aura in disease. See some of his stuff here? So there you have it. So we examined the Pleiadians. We're aware of the New Age and the New World Order. We've heard the warnings. They do want to get rid of, for whatever reason, people who believe in Jesus and Christians. They want to bring about a revolution, insurrection. And they've had this in planning for hundreds of years. And basically, it's the occultists that, from the Rosicrucians who took over the, according to my research, the Masonic lodges, and everything from the creation of the United States, 13 colonies, get it, 13, and moving west and fighting and warring and killing Indians in South America, and now Obama has laid off or fired many generals, and they're replacing them with who we don't know who. They're doing martial law exercises all over the United States. They're sky spraying us. They have these HARP weapon systems everywhere. And then they have these Pleiadians and this occult stuff and the satanic rituals on TV, like Neil Patrick Harris walking in his underwear on stage, or Miley Cyrus getting twerked on stage. And we read about how sex is a major part of opening up decadent sex, sick sex, insane sex, pedophilia is an important part of, I guess, pleasing the deities on the other side that they are incommunicado with. That's how I see it. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. I've been doing all this work for quite a few years, trying to figure out a simple question. What is going on? Maybe I'm getting closer, but it is certainly bizarre. Thank you for watching my videos. Rick Marrico reporting.